Well, this just got really interesting. Browns cornerback Denzel Ward has openly admitted he's been texting Joe Burrow, challenging him to throw his way in the season opener. Now think about that for a second. You're talking about one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and a rival corner is basically daring him to test him. If anything, that sounds like fuel for Burrow to make this matchup even more personal. Of course, Ward is an elite cornerback. No one's denying that. He's had plenty of battles against Jamar Chase, and sometimes he wins those one-on-one matchups. But Chase has also made Ward pay on big plays, so it's always been a true back-and-forth rivalry. And when you remember that Chase himself has called Ward one of the toughest corners he faces, you know this isn't just trash talk. There's mutual respect here. But before we dive deeper into this Bengals-Browns showdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss the latest Cincinnati Bengals news. Now, let's get back to the action. Ward says he loves when the ball comes his way, that he thrives on making plays and being a difference maker. So much so that he's willing to personally ask Burrow to test him early and often. That's a bold challenge. And with Burrow's competitive fire, you can bet this opener just got even spicier. At the end of the day, talk is cheap, and Denzel Ward will have to back up every word when the opener kicks off. What makes this so unusual is the way he's going about it. Honestly, I can't remember ever hearing of a cornerback texting the opposing quarterback and saying, "Throw the ball at me. I want the action." That's something new, and it almost feels like he's daring Joe Burrow to make him regret it. Think about the history of great corners, the true lockdown guys. Most of them built their reputation by making quarterbacks avoid them entirely. Darrelle Revis comes to mind. During his prime, quarterbacks wouldn't even look in his direction. It was almost an unwritten rule. Challenge Revis, and you'd probably lose. But Ward? He's flipping the script. Instead of scaring Burrow off, he's inviting him in. That's bold. And when you're going up against an offense led by Joe Burrow and featuring Jamar Chase, you better be ready for the smoke. This isn't going to be a one-sided battle. It's setting up to be one of those classic matchups where both sides land their shots. And here's where it gets even spicier. Denzel Ward isn't just challenging any quarterback. He's going after Joe Burrow, the same guy who's now considered one of the very best in the NFL and happens to be throwing to Jamar Chase, one of the most dominant wide receivers in football. That's not exactly the duo you want to poke. Now, here's an interesting wrinkle. Ward and Burrow actually share history from their Ohio State days. Remember, Burrow started out with the Buckeyes, buried on the depth chart as a third stringer before transferring to LSU. Back then, most people didn't see him as the future superstar he'd become. Urban Meyer, who was coaching Ohio State at the time, even went on record saying Burrow wasn't going to make it, that he couldn't throw consistently and didn't have what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. Fast forward to now, and Burrow has completely flipped that narrative. He used every bit of doubt, every dismissal, and turned it into fuel. That's the part about Burrow you can't underestimate. He doesn't just forget things like this. He stores them, he channels them, and he turns them into statement games. So when Ward says he's texting Burrow and daring him to throw his way, that's playing with fire. Because Burrow has shown time and again that when he's challenged, he raises his level. Does that mean he'll go after Ward every play? Probably not. Ward is too good of a corner to be disrespected like that. But it does mean Burrow won't shy away when the opportunity comes. And if Chase gets a step, Burrow will pull the trigger without hesitation. That's what makes this opener so intriguing. It's not just Bengals versus Browns. It's Burrow versus the critics. It's Chase versus Ward. And it's about proving who really owns this rivalry when the spotlight hits. When you actually look at the numbers, the Chase-Ward rivalry becomes even more fascinating. In the Week 18 matchup last season, Jamar Chase was held to just 4 catches for 19 yards. That's a stat line you almost never see from him. And it shows how physical and disciplined Ward can be when he's locked in. For a cornerback to keep Chase under 20 yards? That's rare company. But here's the thing. That wasn't the full story. Earlier in the season, when the Bengals faced Cleveland, Chase flipped the script. He exploded for 97 yards and a touchdown, while T. Higgins chipped in another 58 yards and a score of his own. That tells you everything about this Bengals offense. Even if Ward has a strong game against Chase, Burrow has multiple weapons to lean on. Double Chase, and T or Tyler Boyd can burn you. And this is what makes Ward's challenge so bold. One game, he might get the upper hand, but the very next meeting, Chase can torch him for nearly 100 yards. That unpredictability is why this rivalry is so fun to watch. It's not lopsided. It's not predictable. It's two elite talents trading punches, with Burrow orchestrating it all. So as we head into this opener, the question isn't just, can Ward slow down Chase? It's, can he do it for 4 quarters while Burrow and the Bengals offense keep throwing different looks at him? Because history shows that even if you stop Chase once, he usually comes right back the next time with a big answer. When you break down Ja'Marr Chase's performances against Cleveland, it's clear there's no single pattern. And that's what makes this matchup so unpredictable. Take the January 7th meeting, for example. Chase was limited to 4 catches for just 19 yards, with no touchdowns. That kind of stat line doesn't happen often. Though to be fair, the Bengals weren't playing their starters the entire game, and the result didn't carry much weight in the standings. But then, rewind to December 11th, Chase exploded for 10 receptions, 119 yards, and a touchdown against that same Browns defense. That's the duality of this rivalry. On one Sunday, Ward can keep Chase under wraps, and on another, Chase can go off and completely tilt the game in Cincinnati's favor. Even in games the Bengals didn't win, Chase still found ways to produce. There was a stretch where he was held to just 26 yards in a matchup, but that was an outlier. He didn't even play in some of those contests. And when Chase is healthy and locked in, the numbers usually pile up quickly. Now, it's true Chase saved some of his biggest statement games for division rivals like the Ravens. But that doesn't mean the Browns have it easy. Division games in the AFC North are always a grind, and Burrow to Chase has proven time and again to be one of the most dangerous connections in football. The Browns know it. The Ravens know it. The Steelers know it. And stopping it is easier said than done. That's why Ward's challenge feels so risky. You never really know which version of Ja'Marr Chase you're going to get, but history suggests that sooner or later, he's going to break loose. And if Burrow gets comfortable, it doesn't matter how good the coverage is. Chase will find his moment. Honestly, I love this kind of drama. Rivalries are built on moments like these, when one player steps out and throws down a challenge, and the other side can't wait to answer it on the field. That's exactly what makes the AFC North so intense year after year. Still, I'll be real. If you gave me a list of things I expected to hear before the season started, a cornerback texting Joe Burrow and asking him to throw the ball his way would not have been anywhere on it. It's bold, it's risky, and it's going to add even more fire to an already heated Bengals-Browns showdown. So now the stage is set. Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, and the Bengals offense against the Browns defense led by Denzel Ward, who's practically begging to be tested. We won't have to wait long to see who wins that battle. And when the ball is kicked off, talk won't matter anymore. Only results will. And with Burrow's track record, let's just say, challenges like this usually don't end well for the other side.